engines. Squeeze every last drop of energy from every last drop of fuel.
Here we go then for round 4, and just checking our scorecards, Claude Abrams has given Buster Keaton rounds 2 and 3, with Butch Lesley taking the first session, so 1 point between them. But I've got a feeling this is not going to go 12 rounds.
I've got a feeling it will go 12, Steve, in spite of the cuts.
Okay, we'll have a pound on that. So John Buster Keaton then in the black trunks, putting Lesley under pressure here, and as Claude said, that half a stone weight advantage beginning to tell slightly now. And you might not think that half a stone is an awful lot at cruiserweight, but you know, let's not forget that Keaton is a big, strong cruiser, isn't he?
Keaton's not pretty to watch, but it does take a lot out of a fighter to try and hold off the bigger man, and that's what's happening here.
Well, Butch Lesley never was an up-on-your-toes kind of fighter, and he won't be here either. So he's going to do it the hard way. And of course, he showed such spirit against Tony Oki in that fantastic Southern Area title fight, didn't he?
Oh, he can dig deep, all right. There's no question about that. I just think this is more of a size problem for Lesley, and the sharpness that he normally displays isn't here. And I think that's because he's being backed up, and he's not being allowed to dictate the fight at his pace.
Well, the odd fast punch coming in from Lesley, but most of the solid work being done here by Keaton. Again, a nice uppercut there from Butch. And once again, I've got to say, Keaton's face is a mask of blood. He really is beginning to... well, I mean, Claude, I mean, how much do you think it's possible to lose in a fight when you get cut early on? You know, I mean, in litres, I mean, is it possible for a fighter to lose a fight?
Well, you'd think that the referee would stop it before he lost that amount of blood. It's certainly bleeding, but it's not. I don't think he's bleeding severely enough for the referee to stop it at this point.
Well, I've got to say, the worst blood loss I ever saw was Massimiliano Duran when he fought Anaklap Wamba. He got cut on the temple in the second round, and he absolutely pumped blood the entire fight. It was... he must have lost 2 or 3 pints that night. Well, once again, these... naughty little uppercuts coming in from Lesley, and they're exacerbating that damage around Keaton's face. Well, Keaton...
I gave that round to Lesley. I think he fought more intelligently on the back foot.
Well, there he is then. There's Butch, having that face attended to by Mick Williamson, one of the most experienced cutsmen in the country. Of course, in fact, in the world, he's a very decent cutsman, and well worth the investment. Sometimes, of course, they don't have to get up at all, but here's a bit of replay from that round. Oh, that would have been interesting had it landed. Very fast uppercut, but just off target. Same punch, different angle. And, well, see Keaton there just shut his eyes when that one was thrown. Well, looks like Dominic's patched that cut up quite well, but of course it soon starts to bleed again, doesn't it? So into round 5 then of this WBF Cruiserweight Championship, and well, at the moment it looks like it's a pretty level fight with 4 gone, 2 and 3 to Keaton, 1 and 4 to Lesley. And this was always going to be an interesting domestic matchup. And the outcome is still very much in doubt, isn't it?
Well, it's toing and throwing, isn't it? I just think Lesley's not having as easy a time as he thought he was going to have. His gum shields just popped out there.
Well, Keaton trying to take advantage there of Lesley not having a gum shield in, and of course McDonald will take, in fact that's the moment he picked, a suitable moment for the action to be stopped, to have the gum shield washed and replaced, which of course has been the rule now for about 6 or 7 years in this country. And looking around, a fairly, well, interestingly there, Dominic Ingle warned for overcoaching in that blue corner. Sign of desperation, possibly? I know the Ingles are always at it, aren't they?
Yeah, the Ingles like to shout advice. They'll try and get away with it when they can. Sometimes it works. I've often seen rounds influenced by what's shouted from the corner, so it's, you know, that's a trainer's way of getting an advantage. You can't blame them.
Well, personally, I don't actually mind if it's reasonable level, but of course, in this country, it's very much frowned upon. Once again, the blood running thick and fast from that cut to Keaton's eye. Well, these are huge haymakers now coming in from Keaton, and that's just the kind of punch you'd expect from Buster. And the people there roared running through those shots. They enjoyed that. Once again, the quality coming from Lesley, but not enough of it yet.
I think Lesley's been trying to work his jab a bit more this round, and you've got to take into consideration a lot of Keaton's wide punches are landing with the inside of the glove.
Yes, indeed, that's a big crude right there again from Keaton. And, well, he took a left hook there. And maybe Buster feels he's on borrowed time here, Claude.
Yeah, those punches aren't scoring for me. A lot of them aren't.
Maybe Buster now's afraid that the cut might have a bearing on the result here. That's a cut Henry Cooper would have been proud of, isn't it?
Well, he's drawn blood from Lesley's nose now.
Quite a lot of blood from Lesley's nose. It just spurted out, didn't it? Well, Keaton once again trying hard, but the quality coming from Lesley, and might just be enough to edge him this round, Claude.
Well, Keaton's come on strong the last minute.
I was about to say, despite the work rate from Keaton, because of the lack of quality of his shots. Even?
I'll give that an even round. Lesley first half, Keaton the second half.
So a bit of replay coming up then from round 5, and this is possibly those big crude punches from Keaton, who absolutely adores walking forward and chucking gunslinger kind of shots, doesn't he? So 2 and 3 to Keaton, 1 and 4 to Lesley, and round 5 fairly even. So still very hard to pick between these two. So round 6 then, and Buster Keaton has inflicted a bit of damage on Butch Lesley's bridge of the nose. That's been patched up as well. And I tell you what, this is not a fight for the faint-hearted, really, is it, Claude?
No, I think Lesley's got damage to the bridge of the nose, on the scalp, on the left eye, and in from the inside the nose.
So 3 minor cuts in comparison to 1 major one that Keaton is sporting. It would seem, and the unkindest cut of all, wouldn't it, if Keaton were to be stopped here because of that cut. But it is bleeding pretty incessantly, isn't it?
It's bleeding severely, but the question is it bleeding severely enough to prevent him from boxing?